Congressional Commission warns China's Pacific infrastructure projects could pose military threat. February 9, 2026. Chinese-funded infrastructure projects across the Pacific Islands may be presented as civilian, but could ultimately provide military access for Beijing, senior members of a bipartisan Congressional Advisory Commission warned in an interview with Fox News Digital. Leaders of the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission said projects such as runways, ports and communications facilities financed by China are often dual-use, fitting a broader strategy that blends economic investment with long-term security objectives. When you see a broader trend of militarization of the region, you see activities that suggest there are security and military-related interests involved, said Commission Chair Randall Shriver. Even if declared civilian, by their nature these projects could be used for military purposes. Shriver cautioned that Chinese investments should not be viewed in isolation, noting that Beijing is highly strategic and often attaches conditions to infrastructure financing. In many instances, those involve access for the Chinese military, he said. Vice Chair Michael Koiken warned that China frequently combines infrastructure projects with financial leverage. There's a cycle of debt diplomacy, Koiken said, arguing that Beijing burdens Pacific Island nations with debt and then exploits their vulnerability to gain strategic access to ports, airfields and other facilities. It's a rinse and repeat playbook, Koiken said, pointing to cases involving Taiwan, Palau, Micronesia, and the Solomon Islands. Shriver acknowledged that Washington was slow to grasp the security implications of China's expanding footprint in the region. He noted that Chinese infrastructure projects advanced even as the U.S. invested heavily in Guam, a critical hub for American logistics and combat operations. Asked what would indicate a shift from civilian to operational military use, Shriver said some warning signs are already emerging, including incidents of undersea cable interference, which he described as provocative and potentially linked to military contingencies. He added that deployments of Chinese military aircraft to Pacific facilities would represent a major escalation, similar to patterns previously seen in the South China Sea. Koiken urged lawmakers to increase oversight by requesting intelligence assessments and imagery. Raising the alarm and shining a light on these activities is critical, he said. The Commission is also planning a future hearing focused on undersea infrastructure, warning that data cables are vital to the global economy and increasingly targeted. Commission members have recommended a broader U.S. response, including expanded Coast Guard cooperation and increased economic, law enforcement and defense support for Pacific Island nations to counter security risks and economic pressure from China. Koiken described the strategy as a layered approach combining civilian, law enforcement and military engagement to effectively challenge Beijing's growing influence in the region. By Fox News, story by Efrat Lakhter, February 9, 2026.